when things start falling apart, we need to move 89 million people within a short period of time, where should they be moving to? And it's one thing to try and convince places to move, it's another thing to have other places prepared to receive them. And that's a big part of this. The group of place initiatives that is putting this thing together for the climate receiver places has put together the equivalent of a pattern language for the principals on how to do it. And the ideas that are needed, what is really important. Looking at how this really works, I look at this and I kind of start to see, it's almost like the Rust Belt. You know, this is the mapping of the Rust Belt of a location in our country where we have cities that used to have 1,800,000 people that now have, they were down to 600 and they're really glad they're up to 800. That's 1 million people of capacity that had the infrastructure in place at one point. Much of that infrastructure is still there. So I think a tremendous amount of this opportunity is not only to accommodate the needs that we have for displaced people, but also to revitalize those places that existed very well for a very long time. And in the process, if you picture what's happening, you know, Mr. Widget loses his factory outside of Houston, and because it's on the wrong side of the velocity zone, he can't rebuild it because it's more than 50% damage. So what does Mr. Widget do? I mean, it's pretty hard to recover if your factory's been taken away from you, including the 1,000 people who work for him. But luckily he went to prep school with a guy who happens to be the mayor of Detroit. And the mayor of Detroit calls him up and says, you know, how are you doing? He says, not great. You know, I lost my factory. He goes, well, we have factories. Would you like to come and take one? We'll give you a factory. We'll give you a low interest loan so you can rebuild that factory to return to making the widgets that we all depend upon every day. And 600 people who work with them agree because they've lost their homes to go with them too. So they end up going, they're about to make this decision to go to Detroit and get, you know, revitalize Detroit, but there's a guy in the mayor's office, unlike the mayor, he calls his friend who's the mayor of Cleveland. Cleveland's willing to throw in moving costs. So what we need is that kind of an opportunity that people are solving their local problems by bringing people to them because people are the resource, and places where you can survive, where people can go. It really needs to be a metrics of understanding places that will have the resources, the natural water, the natural ability to provide food, the natural ability to not be hit by climate changing sea levels or rivers flooding or large areas of the country flooding. So what we put together is an identification of those counties that the metrics seem to work fairly well. Are they capable of handling an increase? Are they resilient? Are they, you know, are they now thriving, or perhaps will they thrive better once they actually get the increase in population? In Louisville, we were still talking about when we would think this is going to start to happen. Like, what do we prepare for 2050, maybe 2035? Guys, this is happening right now. 1,000 people a day being transported by bus from Texas to New York City. And we're going to put them in hotels. It's like, there's no system for this working. We have not figured that out yet. Systems designed for resilience can survive the stresses of climate change and thrive with more success than can fragile systems. Let us build more places where people thrive. Connect with Place Initiative so we can work together. Visit us at placeinitiatives.org. So get Jake Biddle's book, The Great Displacement. The brilliance of his book is that he doesn't talk about anything that's going to happen in the future.
It's all about
Everything is stuff that has already happened. We are already there.
Thank you for coming. Sign up for Place Initiative.